Hi guys, this is Coach Amber from Racquet Volleyball and Fistball Club. Today we're going to be going over running plays in Fistball. So the first thing that we're going to do is distinguish what a play is. And when a team is running a play, basically what that means is there is an objective goal to the offense and how they set up. And typically this is just distinguished by where the pass or the pick is on the field, and that will determine one of the factors that will basically have the setter decide what play that they want to run. So typically speaking, in traditional fistball, the striker is the one that's telling the setter what kind of set they want. But when you're running a play, there are so many variables going on that you actually give the role of distinguishing the set to the actual setter, so then they can communicate with the strikers what their intent is of the play. So then they can do whatever transitional movements they need to do. So there are 4 different things that will determine what kind of play it is. So we'll explain what they are and then give examples of them. So the first one is a location change. So location change is going off of the zones based on the net. So location change is determined by where the ball bounces. So for example, if a ball bounces in the red zone versus the blue zone or the white zone, that will determine what kind of play that you can run. So location change is basically where it forces the defense to adjust to the location that you're standing, and sometimes if you're playing against a team that's not paying as much attention, it may create certain holes in the defense. So you want to create those variables. The next thing is deception. So in fistball, you are hitting from so far away from other people that the other side doesn't have great depth perception. And in these plays, it makes it that there's a lot of extra movement going on where the other team isn't quite sure who's taking the ball or how far away you are and stuff like that. So deception plays are really good to help you basically confuse the other team or delay the defensive patterns because they're not quite sure what's going on. The next is speed plays. So speed plays are basically where you utilize where you are on the field to basically speed the play up. So cookie cutter fistball is basically where you pick the ball, then you set the ball, and then you get a nice bounce set, and it takes 10-15 seconds for all of that to happen. So speed plays are where you're the one that takes control of the tempo of the play, and you make it that now you're only taking 5 seconds or even less than that to then send the ball back over in a strategic and powerful way. The last is a mix of all of these, which is the most common because there are different elements in plays that you can utilize that come from all of these right here. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So the first example is for a location change. So the example that I have here is a left side hitting in the blue zone to the sideline. So technically this is also a speed play, but it is really good because it's utilizing the sides of the field. So the blue zone is over here. So basically what that's saying is, let's say our setter is here. Even if they have to send a bounce set, this is still an easy ball for a left side striker to hit. If the setter sets a bounce ball and it goes in and then it bounces here in the blue zone, a left side striker can come in, do their approach, and then when they hit the ball, they can turn onto a really hard angle. And because of how quick this ball is, it may also make it a speed play just because of how fast the ball is landing on the ground. So this location change will determine basically how quick the ball is going over, but this is mainly a location play versus a speed play. It's also speed, but mainly location change. The next play is a deception play. So this could either be an X play or a tandem. So in this play, basically what that means is, let's say we're in the white zone and the setter is in the A zone, which means that they're somewhere along the 3-meter line. So I'll put it right in front. If we want to run a tandem or an X play, basically what these are are meant to do is to make it that the team doesn't know who's actually striking the ball. So if we have a right side striker here and a left side striker here, if they're running a tandem, what that means is that they are going to do a hitting approach at the same time and make it look like they're going to collide with each other, but it's planned, so it's controlled, and it's been practiced before. So a tandem is when both players go straight forward at the same time, so then the setter can put the ball on a slight angle, and then the defense doesn't know who's going to take that ball. Because even if a ball comes here, if a team is known for only having their left striker striking, and all of a sudden now there's a right side striker ready to hit, now the angles are going to be different based on who's hitting that ball because they're coming from a different side. So it makes it that the other team is going to have to hesitate to go into defense, and you might be able to make a hole when you do that. Same thing if you're in the white zone and you want to run an X play. Let's say that they think the left side striker is going to be the striker. You can run a play where you actually are deceiving the team based on the depth perception. And basically what that means is the left side striker goes in front of the right side. So then when the ball bounces here, the right side striker is actually the one that's hitting the ball. But because a team on the other side typically will think that the left side striker is going for it, they will set up for the defense of a left side striker hitting it, and then the right side will be directly behind the left side, and they won't be ready for that tempo change. So that's a really good play to run. And again, if you practice it enough and you have a controlled setter and players who are comfortable getting close to each other, this is a very effective play. Especially if you have a lot of transplants from volleyball, this is a very common play that you do in volleyball that they will immediately be able to run as long as you have a controlled setter. The last thing is a speed play. So this is over on 2. So again, we'll also talk about the mix, but a speed play is, again, talking about how to create the tempo and take control of it. So when you are setting, something that you can do is either take the first ball, set up your strikers, and then they can either strike it, or you can even have it that you're setting the ball like a direct ball over the net. And typically speaking, because your strikers look like they're going to strike, the defense won't be ready for a ball that goes directly over the net and drops. So you can play around with the angles that you're sending the ball and make it that you're speeding it up where the other team may not be ready for it. A big thing that we see a lot of is, again, cookie cutter, where it's always pick, set, strike. And a lot of teams aren't putting the ball over on 2. So we're going to definitely utilize the fact that a lot of people aren't used to that, and they're not usually ready until right on that second. Once the setter is setting, then they're starting to get ready for defense. The last is that we have 2 examples of mixed plays. So the first one is the candy cane in the red zone. So basically what that is if the ball is set, so it's getting set in the red zone, instead of the right side striker standing on this side, unless they're left-handed, a right side striker who has a right hand can come around and get ready to strike the ball from here. And again, if the setter sets the ball straight towards the net, they can create a hard angle and they can hit the ball over the net here. And that would make it that, again, just like the left side striker, even a right-handed player can utilize this shot and get the ball close. If you have a left-handed striker, that's also really good on the right side, because again, it's a speed play where you can get the ball over. So the reason why this is a mix is because now you're utilizing speed as well as location change, as well as potentially deception, because if you have the right side striker and the left side striker here, now it makes it really difficult for the defense to know where the ball's going. The last is talking about an X-play or tandem in the white zone where the setter sets over on 2. So they're setting a direct ball here, and the strikers run a tandem or an X-play, making it look like they're going to strike it, but then it just goes over the net and the other team is not ready for it because the strikers sell it. So the big thing with this play is that they need to know that the setter is going to be sending it over, and that they need to 100% sell this ball. So somebody has to get behind it and really, really sell it. So they can't just jump and go like this. They need to really do the full motion and make it look like they're striking it, because the other team won't believe that the ball is getting hit unless the strikers make it look like it. The second that they see that the strikers kind of stop moving, they're going to know that the ball is going to come over, because why would a striker stop moving? The only time is either if it's a dead ball or if the ball went over the net. So the big thing with this one is selling it. So again, you could do this anywhere, but it's the easiest in the white zone because you'll have both strikers right there to touch the ball. So I hope that this helps you out. We're going to start getting really, really creative with our plays, and we want you to understand what the purpose of them is. We want to make it that the strikers are not killing themselves being the only striker anymore, and that if you are playing, there is a chance that you will start seeing more plays in the future. So thank you so much for watching, and keep watching our series. Bye!